Welcome back, people. On the Kase, season 3, episode 2. How the hell are you? Guys, what a day to be alive. Listened to the podcast on the way this morning and I said, you know what? I'm actually pretty funny. And Paul agreed with me. So, yeah, do you know what? When I record the podcast, I sometimes think like, what the hell am I actually saying? But then when I listen back, it actually kind of makes sense. But first things first on today's episode, I need to call Paul out for something. Yeah, straight away. Get your microphone, please. You may speak.
Yes, sir.
Can you guess what I'm calling you out for? Actually, two things.
Some millennial cringe.
Well, that's one of them.
A clip.
Yeah. What did you do with that clip?
Posted it.
And what did you do with when you were posting it?
I don't know.
You tagged a load of randomers.
Oh yeah, I tagged them because they're your fans. Ava always reposts it, so I tagged Ava. Like, Ava, here you go.
Yeah, but that looks like I am looking for them to repost.
But they always repost.
Yeah, but you tagged Sarah and SJ as well.
They're your agents. They're
I know, but they're probably Scarlett, like, you know?
No, I just thought, fuck it. I'm just going to tag everyone who like is a big fan. And your collab agency, they reposted it. So I mean,
did they?
Maybe they did something. Anyway, I'm just saying, I'm tagging your biggest fans.
Okay, well, once they know it's you.
Ava posted it within 5 seconds. So
okay, Ava is number one fan.
Ava needs to get a job.
Because Ava literally texted me this morning and was like, I can't believe you said it on the podcast. Remember I was talking about her boyfriend getting sick in my sink?
Yeah.
And it seeped through the roof?
You did him dirty.
Yeah, and the next thing I'm calling you out for, okay, is would you know the whereabouts of my headphones and my pop shield?
Oh, Brandon took them the other day.
He told me not to let you blame him.
Oh, he went, I'll go get Kasey's.
Yeah, and he says you're meant to put them back.
No, that's not how it works.
Well, I go to start my radio show last night and I say, hey, where's my headphones and my pop shield? Nowhere to be found.
Oh, that's a radio DJ thing now. You get all precious about headphones. And
Well,
pop
I
shield.
need headphones to do my show.
Like Crossy's very particular about his pop shield and it looks really
Well,
gross.
I'm not that particular, but once I have one that's like the right branding.
Brandon went, hold on, I'll go get Kasey's. So he's
Okay.
touching your shit. If he touches your shit, he should put it back.
Well, me and him share headphones, but he was like, well, Paul's going to try to put that onto me, so don't let him.
Yeah, because that's what he did. He was covering his tracks because it's all on Brandon.
Okay, well.
You know Brandon, what he's like.
Okay, well, I don't know, guys. You can decide whether Paul or Brandon's in the wrong, but thank you for your input. Also, guys, Paul said I'm actually like easy to work with now.
Yeah, more or less.
You think?
Yeah, he just told me off within 5 seconds of the podcast. But yeah, more or less, you're pretty chill.
That's actually like for me.
Mental health's improved, basically.
Well, surprise.
Surprise.
That's what this episode's about.
Kasey's chill.
I was like to Paul, can you guess what today's episode's about? And he was like, your body dysmorphia. I was like, no.
Next week.
Next week. No, that's not even a real thing for me. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But guys, yeah. So basically, I've been saying for ages I wanted to do a full episode on mental health, but just like so like cliche and cringe. But like I want it to be more realistic because I'm obviously like a social media person. You see me online, you think I'm this big happy person, which I am a lot of the time. But obviously, I've been through a lot of things mentally that I've touched on it on social media, but I've never gone into it fully. But yeah, so before I do that, I do want to just have a little recap of last week, which is what I like to do. Where the hell are my notes gone? Oh, my documents. Guys, I'm awfully prepared this year. Okay, so my first thing was call out Paul. That's been done. Uncle Pat's birthday. Yes, so last week I was telling you Uncle Pat turned 22. He's finally in his Taylor Swift era. He's old now. Yeah, so I gave him his birthday presents finally. I feel like I've been sitting on this information for so long, but now that it's over, I can tell you, right? So I booked Amsterdam for us in October because I was like, let me just get this out of the way. It'll be cheaper if I book it in advance. And I booked it on Love Holidays. Kind of forgot about it. Then like 2 weeks ago, I went to Wingstop with Dervla and Clodagh, who have both been on this, well, not this couch before, but they've been on this podcast before. And I was like, oh, I booked a holiday. And they were like, when are you going? And I was like, I actually don't know when I'm going. Let me check Love Holidays. Went on to Love Holidays, couldn't find it. And I was like, oh, where the hell did it go? So anyways, ended up finding it somewhere. Everything was fine. Then like a week later, I was like, right, this is getting really soon now to his actual birthday. I better go on to Love Holidays and make sure everything is like secured and okay. Went on to it. No sign of this holiday. It showed me my past bookings. Showed me like my favorited bookings of like stuff that I want to book in the future. No present bookings. So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And bear in mind, he's beside me and trying to talk to me. And I'm like, look, I'm stressed out about something. Just don't talk to me for a few minutes. Scrolling through my emails, typing in Amsterdam, typing in the name of the hotel, typing in booking.com, typing in Love Holidays. Nothing. I'm now in full panic stations. Go on to my Revolut. I see that the money has come out of my account, which means the booking was made. Anyway, long story short, I finally typed in the word booked, like just like booked into my emails, comes up. Magically then reappears in my Love Holidays. I nearly had a heart attack. I've also been hearing horror stories lately about Love Holidays, so I'm just like really hoping it's okay. I have booked with them in the past and it's been fine. But the funny thing is right, so Uncle Pat has been showing me pictures of this certain hotel for weeks, being like, oh my God, I'd love to go here. It's in Amsterdam. I already booked it in October. Like, what a coincidence. Now, it is like one of the most popular hotels on TikTok. It's the one that has the sauna and the jacuzzi in the room. Like in the room now, come on. And I'm one of them people that when I go to Amsterdam, I will not do any like weed, like them cakes, like nothing. I've never done a drug in my whole life, never smoked in my whole life. Not going to start now. I've been to Amsterdam before and I haven't done anything. And I just think like there's loads to do in Amsterdam other than those things. And I'm not shaming anybody that does because obviously a lot of people go there for that reason. But it's just like it's like a self-pride thing of like, oh, I've never done anything before. Do you know? A lot of people think it's because my dad's a guard, but it's actually not. I just have no interest. So yeah, Amsterdam's happening, 2 weeks, can't wait. Ordered loads of clothes. Outfits are gonna slap. I actually had a stylist text me and say she wants to style me for Amsterdam. So I'm like, okay. But I've already bought a lot of my clothes already. So I think I might just get her to do like one outfit or something. But we'll see. His other presents he was delighted with, like his boxing gloves and what else did I get him? Like loads of like American like candy and stuff, which we've already eaten. And yeah, we had a pretty chill day for his birthday. We went for lunch on the day of his birthday, which is a Friday, in Arcadia in Tala. First time going, lovely. Then that night we literally just binged Stranger Things and got a takeaway. And then on the Saturday we did stuff for his actual birthday. So we went to Tribe. Tribe is my New Year's resolution. I'm trying to go every single Saturday. I will try to go during the week as well, but I'm so busy during the week that sometimes I just do workouts at home or like I'll go on a run. They're tough. They're very, very tough classes and a bit of self-promo, guys. If you want to go, you can use Kasey Free for a free class, which is actually pretty good. See if you like it before you like commit to buying the membership. And you can also use Kasey 10 for a little discount on your packages. Anyway, it's actually very, very good. I really love going. It's like dark and like flashing lights and really cool music, and you wear like a heart monitor and it tells you when you've hit like your sweat goal, and there's like a screen with everyone's names on it and everyone claps for you when you hit your sweat goal, and it's great. So yeah, highly recommend. We went to Tribe and then we went and got a bit of lunch. I got an acai bowl, which is my version of being healthy. He got a toasty. It was torture watching him eat the toasty. Then that night we went for dinner for his birthday, and I thought dry January was in full swing, okay? Town was hopping. We went to Isabel's first for dinner. Lovely food. The staff weren't rude, okay? They definitely weren't rude, but they also weren't friendly. Does that make sense? They were just kind of there. I'm the kind of person that loves when the staff are like, oh, do you need anything else? Like, is everything okay? Just because I'm such an anxious person that I want them to come over and be like, do you need anything? Because I don't want to be like calling them over for stuff. So would I go back? Yeah, probably. I've been like 3 or 4 times now. Wouldn't rush back. I don't know. I just feel like I'm finding problems with everything lately. But anyways, that's my honest review. Decently priced, lovely pizza, lovely sides, lovely cocktails, whatever. Then we went to Cafe on Seine for one drink, just because it was his birthday and we'd hiked the whole way into town, so we weren't just gonna like go home. Packed. I feel like everyone was having their work Christmas parties for January because a lot of people that work in like, I don't know, hotels and stuff have their parties in January. And then we went home and binged Stranger Things. Guys, I finally finished Stranger Things and we can now talk about it. Paul, are you ever gonna watch it? So I can spoil it. Guys, if you haven't finished Stranger Things, this is your 5-second warning to skip forward for about 2 minutes, okay? I am obsessed. I don't get hooked on any shows. I can't. My attention span won't do it. Can't watch movies. Can't really go to the cinema that much. I love that show. I feel like a part of me has died now since it's over. Because I binged the whole thing, I didn't really have any time to process anything or like take gaps in between seasons. Am I happy with the ending? A lot of people aren't happy with the ending. I think, I don't know, like, somebody had to die to make it like dramatic. But I also just think 11 dies, by the way.
That was always kind of obvious, wasn't
Do
it?
you think?
Yeah, someone had to die. You can't have a show about horror and monsters and nobody dies.
Yeah, people died all along though.
Yeah, but they're like minor people.
I know. I just think
Justice for Barb. Remember Barb?
I know. This is so funny. I obviously hadn't watched it since like 2016, and I remember saying to Uncle Pat, I was like, wasn't there this girl in it called Barb? And he was like, Kasey, she's the most irrelevant character. And I'm like, that's who I remembered.
She was a big deal when it came out. Everyone wanted more Barb.
Yeah, and like she really got shafted. Like that show has become the biggest Netflix show, and she was just like goner after one season.
She'll live forever in people's memories.
Ah, yeah, maybe she got a few more acting gigs. I don't know. But yeah, 11 obviously dies. I personally think unfair. I think she basically, every time they were just about to be like, I hate cursing, I don't curse. Every time they're about to be fucked, she saves them. And she had such a horrible upbringing. She was like held captive. She was used for her powers and she was kept in like basically a cage. And then she has to die. I just think it's so unfair, especially on Mike, who was like her boyfriend. Hopper, who was her dad. Also, can we just take a side note here? Apparently Hopper in real life is an asshole. Were you aware?
Lily Allen did a whole album about it.
I didn't know this.
Her ex-husband.
I had no idea.
And who is Madeline?
Is that like a girl he was like getting or something?
No, that's one of her songs.
I know that.
Yeah, Madeline.
Must be a girl he was getting with. Cheating on
Pussy
her.
Palace.
I am traumatized because I was only talking about this on my show the other night. He was my favourite character.
He's a character though. You'd have to get mad at the actor.
I know.
There's
But
plenty
like,
of asshole actors that are good characters.
yeah, I know. But like, he was just so wholesome and he just like, cared about everybody and he always like saved the day.
Well, apparently he's not doing very well at the moment. So.
Really?
Yeah.
And also, apparently Elle or Millie Bobby Brown made a complaint against him.
I don't know about that, and let's not get into much.
That's alleged,
gossip.
guys.
Gossip.
That's alleged.
We don't gossip here.
Oh no.
No gossip.
But if that's true, I'd be so upset because their bond on the actual show was so good. But yeah, they've obviously left the ending up to interpretation, so they're basically leaving it like you decide whether she died or not. Do you get me?
No Netflix. They'll have a reboot in 5 years or like
Do you
a sequel.
think?
Yeah.
'Cause-
She'll be back in 5 years, 10 years time. I think the problem is they've all been doing it since they were kids and they need a break.
Yeah.
And some of them are not good actors.
You don't think?
No, some of them terrible.
Really?
They've not. They need grit. They should have gone to drama school, had real life. They became famous at 12.
And then they just had to stick with it.
And yeah, whereas like, I don't like the Harry Potter films, but the Harry Potter actors, you can see they've had time off to be adults and become better actors. I think Stranger Things, they got too famous, too rich.
Who do you think is bad in Stranger Things?
All the boys are not great.
The young lads.
Yeah, they're not young anymore. They're
Well,
like,
yeah.
they're 20,
I thought
25.
they were good.
I don't know. I just feel like they were too famous too soon. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like myself. No, I'm joking. But yeah, the ending, Paul, just a spoiler for you. Basically, they showed Elle dying. So that's like, you believe she's dead. Or you can choose to believe that her sister, who also has powers, like, made it look like she died and she actually didn't and she
She
escaped.
fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll be back in 5 years' time. The reboot. I
Oh.
heard people are mad. You have to see the play. And
play?
there's a play in New York on Broadway.
Of Stranger Things.
Yeah, and it explains Vecna's childhood and Hopper as a kid, and there's a lot of Easter
Oh.
eggs.
Okay.
But if you haven't seen the play, you wouldn't really understand.
Right. Well, guys, I'm going to be honest. I found it a very confusing show. I had to get Uncle Pat to pause it so many times and explain things to me. There's so much going on. With like the upside down and Vecna and the mind flare. I still don't really understand what the mind flare was. But I'm awfully upset it's over. I really am. I bawled my eyes out when Elle died. I just thought it was so unfair.
What about Heated Rivalry? You know watch that?
I don't know anything about this yet.
Well, so everyone's talking about it in Office and TikTok.
Is it fiction?
It's a romantic drama about two ice hockey players, both men, who fall in love.
Okay.
And these actors are now like world famous because of it.
Okay, maybe I actually want to watch this thing called His
I don't
and
think
Hers.
Uncle Pat would enjoy it.
Yeah.
A lot of butt stuff going on in this show.
Sure. He doesn't.
He's open minded, sure.
He just deals with whatever I want him to watch.
But it's very good. It's only 6 episodes. And
Okay.
people are filming themselves crying at the last episode.
Maybe I can commit because His and Hers is #1, I think, on Netflix, which I want to watch.
This
But-
is on Now TV.
Oh, okay. I think I have that.
Yeah. If you go on TikTok, it's basically like this show at the moment.
I think I was watching that really bad show, It Welcome to Derry on Now TV. But guys, one of my biggest problems with Stranger Things, right? These are two things that are like so irrelevant, but they're important to me, okay? #1, where did Susie Pooh go? Dustin's girlfriend? No mention of her. She just vanished off the face of the earth. Steve and Nancy, what do you mean they didn't get back together? They breadcrumbed for the whole of season 5 that they were going to get back together. Like the whole thing, they were looking at each other. Like when he was jumping in the water, like taking off stop, she was looking at him. He was telling her that he sees like 6 kids in his future with her.
Yeah. 5 years' time, they'll come back.
You
But
think?
What about Max's mum?
Yeah, she vanished too. And Vicky? You don't know Vicky, do you?
Is that the girlfriend?
The girlfriend of Rock and Robin, who's a radio presenter, by the way, in the show.
Oh. I think Max's mum in real life was very unwell and couldn't film it.
Oh, seriously?
I think there's a lot of like plot holes because
People
just
couldn't.
various things.
Well, obviously,
The
like,
Reddit thread for Stranger Things is just full of very angry people with too much time.
which I also don't think is fair because obviously when you're making a show that big with that much going on, there's going to be a few little loopholes. A few little.
Not as bad as Game of Thrones.
I never watched that.
It's very bingeable until the last series, and then they really messed up the end and they rushed it. And I know people that worked on it, and they said the actors were done. They were over it. They wanted to move on.
Oh, they wanted to be done.
They've been doing it for 10 years, playing the same
Fair.
character.
A lot of people are saying Stranger Things was a bad ending, but I'm like, I feel like no matter what they done, people will complain.
Yeah, you never make anyone happy.
No.
And you wouldn't want an episode where it's just like 25 endings.
Yeah, and then like if she lived, I don't know. But guys, if you haven't watched it, it's so worth the watch. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very sad it's over now. But anyway, send me on your recommendations, guys. Okay, last thing of my update of the week is Mr. Can I say his name?
Is this some
The
person
guy that I outed on.
destroyed on TikTok?
Yeah.
Maybe just give him a code name.
Okay. Beer on Mirrell.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
It rhymes with his real name.
Beer on Merrill.
Beer on Mirrell, right? So, as we all know, I said it last week, I'm not taking things sitting down anymore, even though I'm sitting down right now. So, Paul didn't see the video because he's clearly not my number one fan. Long story short, this guy kept commenting abuse on my videos, trying to ring me, sending me messages that were for other people, but like about me, being like, how did this girl get this job and all? Like calling me 30-ton Tessie, all this mad shit, but on his real account with his real face. I was like, who does that? Now, you might ask, why didn't you just block him? And you know what? I probably should have, but I think a part of me was like, this is going to be good content, so I kept him there. Anyways, long story short, he texted me the other day. He commented on my video calling me an elephant. And I was like, you know what? This is my time to shine. So I found out where he lives, his full address, where he works. He has his own construction company. Every about his children, everything. Posted a video, bam. Didn't go viral. It has about 3,000 shares, but I think it's shadow banned because obviously I'm like outing somebody. But plot thickens. His baby mama texted me. Okay.
I'm listening.
Dramatic effect. And she was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. She was like, you've literally made my year. I've been waiting for Karma to get him. And she was like, say whatever you want. So this is all public knowledge from her. She was like, I haven't seen him in 7 years. I haven't seen he hasn't allegedly I haven't seen him in 7 years. Allegedly hasn't seen the kids. So many more things that I won't say on the podcast, but let's just say he's not a great person. And ever since I posted the outing video, a lot of people are asking me like, has he contacted you? No, he deleted his comment, but he still follows me. So Beer on Mirrell is clearly still hanging on for dear life. But this is your sign, guys. Don't do me wrong, because this is the second person this year about it. Last week on the podcast, remember I said something is going to happen, but I mightn't do it.
But you did it anyway.
No, that wasn't it. This wasn't it.
Oh.
And it seems like this was it. The next outing that I have lined up is someone that I know, so it's kind of awkward, but we'll see. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. But
you're going to blow them up.
Yeah, I don't know.
On the spot.
I mightn't use the name of the person, but let's just say
settling scores.
I'm like something about me is, and I might be childish, I don't feel done with a situation until I've aired it.
Yeah, I think if you're going to fuck with Kasey Campion, you have to expect she's going to say shit about you online.
Yeah, and a lot of people might think
something about cringe, she'll go. That was podcast Paul, by the way, because I would never do that.
Millennial stuff. Yeah. But like, you might think it's toxic, but I don't know. I would rather do a story time and get it off my chest, because when someone does something wrong to me, I want everyone to know.
Engagement.
Is that toxic? I don't know.
What would happen if it happened to you?
What
Like,
do you mean?
Like someone outed you.
Nobody could.
But what? Karma. Do you know anything about karma?
Karma for what though?
I don't know. You're playing with fire. What if it happens back?
It is risky doing what I do, but also if you don't want, as Taylor Swift says, people to write bad songs about you, don't do bad things.
Fair.
Do you know what I mean?
John Mayer. Never living it down.
Exactly.
Harry
so
Styles.
There you have it, lads. And
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Like, even your sports buddy, like, why do people come for me when they know the platform that I have, first of all, and what I'm capable of?
Do women get more abuse on TikTok? Obviously.
Yeah.
And the men TikTokers, not so much.
No, not really.
Like, because the reverse is saying, you know, the male TikTokers don't get any brand deals because they're not seen as advertiser friendly.
True.
But the women get dogs abuse, which is classic.
Yeah.
It's always a woman's fault, but a man kind of slides off.
Your fellow does Vlogmas.
Yeah, your boyfriend does Vlogmas.
Your boyfriend does Vlogmas. That's the only abuse that boys get online. No, I'm sure men get abuse as well. But obviously men, like, abuse online comes from a lot of men, I find. So I don't think men abuse men as much.
Probably. There's a power dynamic there.
Yeah.
I'll be horrible to women because I'm a man behind a screen.
Yeah, and it's all just jealousy. I need some water, guys.
She's parched America.
I'm actually on my water grind lately, Paul.
Oh.
See that little bottle there?
I did. You talked about it last week. Someone in the office has a massive Stanley Cup. And
I do.
She was obviously doing the same. She knocked it all over her desk. And I was like, that's the danger of these massive things. A lot of water to spill.
Yeah, I've been drinking like 1/2 of those a day. I'm doing pretty well.
It's nothing worse when you go to like a yoga class and some girlie's got that metal water bottle and keeps knocking it over. I'm like, get that fucking thing.
I was in Pilates, yeah, saying someone knocked their metal water bottle.
Get that fucking thing out of here.
Also, guys, oh my God. Wait, should I say this?
She's going to say it.
I can say this. I was in Pilates yesterday, reformer Pilates, okay? And the woman who done my smear test was across from me.
Oh.
Like, come on. You know when you see someone, you're like, how do I know them? And you kind of stare at them for a minute. And I was like, does she work in the deli? And then I was like, oh my God, no, she done my smear test. I'm just like across from her now.
She was looking at some kind of meat.
Yeah, she's seen this film before, but she didn't say anything, obviously. But yeah, I feel bad for her having to deal with me because I was literally psychotic that day. But anyways, guys,
We take a break.
I guess it's time. I need a little breather for a minute.
Little break, breather.
Before I get into this big juicy segment of mine.
Okay, Kasey, be right back.
Be right back, guys. Okay, people, we're back. My break lasted about 10 seconds because Paul hates me. But yeah, so today's episode, I said, is going to be mainly about my mental health, which is kind of like scary to talk about because I feel like it's obviously a personal subject, but I know that it will help other people because a lot of people struggle with mental health that aren't influencers, obviously. But if you see someone that's an influencer who you sometimes might put on a pedestal or you might think is better than you, which we aren't, but some people might think that. If you see us having similar struggles to you, you might be like, oh, they're actually normal because I obviously put up a New Year's Eve Get Ready With Me talking about it. And I got so many messages from people being like, oh my God, I never would have thought you of all people would suffer with stuff. So anyway, look, we're going to go back to the start, okay? I have a few notes written down here of when I first even experienced anything bad mental health wise or when I even discovered what it was. So, and I remember it as clear as day. It was like it came out of nowhere. So it was January 2022. So what's that? 4 years ago now. I was in my first relationship, obviously with the rodent, and I got out of the shower one day. I think it was like the 6th or the 7th of January, and I just got this pit in my stomach. The worst feeling I could ever feel, but nothing was actually wrong. So I was like, what is this feeling? I didn't understand it. Then I went to Liffey Valley with my mom and dad, met up with my grandparents there, and RIP to one of them. And I still had this feeling in my stomach and I couldn't shake it. I just couldn't comprehend what it was. So then I remember texting the rodent at the time being like, are you okay? Did something happen? Like, is something wrong? I thought like he'd been in a car crash or something had happened for me to have this random like pit in my stomach. And he was like, no, nothing happened. Like, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel really like off. So then as time progressed, it turned a lot worse. It turned into me having like 3 or 4 mental breakdowns a day of me just like scream crying. And like, I've kind of touched on this before, but basically what started to happen was I started having doubts about our relationship, even though nothing had happened to my knowledge. Obviously, I don't know if he'd ever done anything before. I probably did, but I didn't know anything at this point. At this point in my brain, this was the person I was going to marry, the most perfect human being. He's so good to me. My family love him, blah, 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 blah. All this bullshit that you think about your first love. Anyway, but my brain was telling me, you don't love him. You don't want to be with him. You don't like him. So I couldn't tell if that was like intrusive thoughts, which at the time I didn't really know what they were, which I'll get into, or if it was just like the truth, like one or the other. So I kind of told him a little bit about it, but I didn't want to freak him out too much. But he was like, oh, it's normal. Like, we've been together 3 years. Like, maybe this is just like, you know, it's normal to have doubts. But at the time, I didn't realize this was normal. Like, I thought, oh my God, you're not allowed to have one single doubt or you're not meant to be in this relationship. I had a really bad mindset about what life and relationships were meant to be. I had this like perfectionism thing in my head, which I will get into. So anyway, go to Rome. And anytime I mention Rome, I actually nearly get sick. I spoke about this on the podcast with Graham and Nathan and Neve. We went to Rome. It was the worst week of my whole life. Yeah. Well, up there with one of the worst weeks of my life. The pit in my stomach was the worst I've ever felt. So bad that I needed to puke. I was crying all day. I was on every single form of rescue remedy you can imagine, like the melt that you put on your tongue, the dropper, the sleeping ones, like all of them. They're just like a placebo. I don't actually know if they work. And while I was over there in the evening time, he'd go out on like a scooter, like the scooters you do around Rome. And I'd FaceTime my mom in hysterics. And I just didn't know what was wrong. I was just like repulsed by him. I was getting the ick. Like, I just don't know. I don't know. My brain was not working. It was telling me you need to leave this person even though they did nothing wrong to you. So like, I don't know if that was intuition that he was going to cheat on me 4 months later, or if that was intrusive thoughts and self-fucking sabotage and all that kind of stuff. So she was like, we need to get you a therapist, like instantly. She was like panicking. So she starts texting everyone she knows, introduce Richard. Paul, you know Richard.
This week's episode of Catherine Thomas features Dr. Richard Hogan.
Dr. Richard Hogan, he was the person I went to because my mom knew him through work and she recommended him and she was like, oh my God, crisis mode, Kasey needs to see this guy. So I went to him and honestly learned so much about myself that I never would have learned. And he just like learned my brain and my thought process inside out. He was actually the therapist on The Traitors and also on something else.
Traitors Ireland and Dinner
with
with
an Enemy. Yes. And basically, he taught me about myself that basically I have this idea of perfection. And because since I was younger, it was always, oh, Kasey's so good in school, Kasey's so good at this, Kasey's so good at that. I have this idea in my head that I need to be perfect or I'm going to let down my whole family. He also told me that, well, not told me, but like uncovered that I obviously have a touch of OCD. Obviously, I'm not like fully diagnosed. OCD isn't just like the cleaning your room thing, because clearly I don't have that one if you've seen my room. But OCD, and I've looked into it so much since, it's a lot of like ruminating thoughts, self-sabotage. Your brain likes to cling on to things that you enjoy and tries to ruin them for you. Overthinking, like all this kind of stuff. There's so much about it. But we were basically trying to discover if my brain was trying to ruin my relationship because I was happy for once, or if it was just the wrong relationship. But at the time, because I was young and first love or whatever, I thought if this relationship ends, I have to die. There's no way out of this. This is it for life. I would rather be miserable with him for life or die, which is so ridiculous. And I know a lot of younger girls listen to this podcast, and I promise you, if you're thinking like that about your first boyfriend or any boyfriend, it is not the case. Okay? On the case, not the case. I promise you. So anyway, long story short, ended up going on sertraline, which is a antidepressant, this was in 2022 when I was in college. Again, such a stigma around it. Didn't want to tell anybody. Didn't even tell my friends in college. I basically just told Rodent at the time, my mom, probably Ava, maybe. I can't even remember. So yeah, long story short, we all know 3 months later ends up cheating on me. And I think that's what a lot of people thought I was over dramatic with my cheating story. But I think nobody knew the backstory. If people knew how depressed I was, how I tried everything on this planet to stay with that man. I went to therapy, which is very expensive, went on medication, convinced myself I was insane. And then after all of that work, got cheated on. It's just another kick in the face. And he knew all of that I had done. So that's what made it even worse. So yeah, obviously got cheated on, broke up, and then life kind of started looking up a bit from then. I stayed on the medication, but when I moved over to Albufeira, I ran out of it, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm actually fine now. I'm just gonna go off it. So yeah, obviously I was young. I was living in Portugal. I was obviously happy that I was after getting away from Ireland, and there was no such thing as depression anymore. So life took an upturn from there. Okay. Now back to the notes. When did I start to get bad again? Okay, clearly I have an issue with Italy, right? Because I went to Venice. Went to Venice. I think it was 2023 in like February, I think. And I had a good time. I was there with my friend Amber, and she had to leave early because one of her family members got really sick and she had to leave early. So I was left in Venice for a day on my own. And something turned in my brain that day, and I was like, you feel shit again. And I was just sitting in Rome. I was in Venice, eating a sandwich in the rain on my own, like tears going down my face. And I was like, what is wrong with me again? The same feeling as after coming back. So I came back from Venice. I was working here at the time, but I think I was on the promo team then. I probably was, or like helping supervise the promo team. And I just remember this like overwhelming thought of like, what is the point of everything? Now, what I will say is, and obviously trigger warning for all mental health related things, I have never, and touch wood, have never been suicidal, thankfully. But I did have these thoughts of like, what is the point? What is everyone doing? Where am I going with this job? What am I doing? Like, I'd look at people around me, like on the computers or like in the shop, and be like, what are you all doing? Why are we all doing this? We're all going to die eventually. Just like really negative, like, just like, it felt like I was like dead, but alive, if that makes sense. Like, I was still going about my daily business, going to work, making my videos. Obviously, in 2023, I wasn't full blown TikToker at this point, but I was doing TikTok. So I was still going about my daily life. I wasn't like lying in bed or anything, but it was just a lot of negative thoughts like creeping in. But then again, over time, went away again. It was kind of like an in and out thing, you know. And then even around the time, and I'm sure this will shock a lot of people, around the time of my driving test, it kind of came back again. So this would have been 2024, like March. And I remember thinking, like, if I pass my driving test, all my worries are going to go away. Everything is going to be cured. And it didn't. Like, that day, I was so delighted. I'd have like really happy moments and like spurts of happiness. But then I go back into my own head. I remember sitting with my driving instructor in the car park of like Little Aldi being like, sometimes I'm just like, what is the point of life? And he was like, what? This is a driving lesson, not a therapy session. But no, to be fair, he did listen to me and he was very helpful. But yeah, it was this just overwhelming feeling of what is the point? Like, we're all gonna die. I'd look at people like with their families and their kids, and I'm like, are you actually happy? Like, does anyone actually want to be here? Yeah, very strange, very dark, very deep thoughts. Anyways,
What are your tips for dealing if you have that kind of scenario going on in the moment? What are your tips? How do you calm yourself down?
I know it sounds so basic, but breathing is such a big thing. Like, there's this thing, it's like this method where I think you breathe in for 7, breathe out for 4, and that does actually calm your stomach, because a lot of anxiety symptoms are physical, like you can feel them.
Mm-hmm.
So you might feel like you're gonna throw up, you might get like shakes, you might feel whatever. So I personally, breathing really helped, but at the time you think there's literally no way out of it. Like, you literally think this is it now for life. But I can promise you, sitting here now, that is not it for life, as someone who has gone through it. What else happened? Oh yeah, once summer would come and there'd be nights out, I'd feel good again, but it was all just like sporadic, and it was never like fully dealt with. So then we go forward to a more present time. So November last year was when it just went completely downhill. Like, I cannot explain how bad this was. This was like the top 3 worst times of my life was the time in Rome, getting cheated on, and this. This was another level. This was every single day, pit in my stomach.
November just passed.
Yeah.
What?
No, sorry, before.
November 24.
24, yeah. So had I done the podcast then? No, I hadn't. No. So during that time, obviously, I was prepping for this podcast. I went and done the photo shoot. I was on the radio late at night. So I was still functioning as a human being. I was going to events. I was making content, but I wasn't, like, my head was just not there whatsoever. I tried to like ruin so many things on myself, so much self-sabotage, so much just like overthinking everything. And last December, you probably remember, I went to Belfast with some of the girls. Well, RIP one of them. I was crying the whole time I was there. Christmas was a disaster last year. And if you watch me on social media, you might think, oh my God, you had the best Christmas ever. Well, a bit of lore that I dropped on Christmas Eve this year. Me and my sister had World War III on Christmas Eve 2024. Maybe someday we'll tell the story. Maybe someday she'll come on the podcast. Christmas was ruined that year. I'm talking like I had a crash out on Christmas morning. The worst crash out I've ever probably had. My parents were actually like probably close to ringing a fucking ambulance for me. I was that bad. So yeah, Christmas was ruined. New Year's, you probably remember I posted a Get Ready With Me last year, and I was actually like crying and Get Ready With Me, and I don't know, it was just horrendous. So obviously New Year came around and I was like, right, this can't continue. There was mornings where I literally couldn't get out of bed. I felt like I was like being pulled towards the bed by like gravity. It was so strange. But again, still going to work, still doing my ads, still doing my content, still appearing happy to everybody else. I remember I did an ad for Lidl for the purple like kitchen appliances. And in between clips, I had to like wipe the black from under my eyes and like mute the audio because I was actually sobbing in the videos.
I remember that video.
Do you remember that video?
Yeah, I remember it was cute.
Yeah.
I didn't see all the tears, so
you never would have known.
You filled me.
What else? There was so many things I wrote
You said
down.
you had a moment before you interviewed Shanice on the pod.
Yeah, the day Shanice was on the podcast, I basically cried the whole day. Obviously, I had to launch the podcast last year. Obviously, like there was parts that was happy, of course, but deep down, all this was going on and nobody knew. Obviously, I wasn't speaking to my sister at the time because we'd fallen out at Christmas, so that went on for about 4 months. Then I fell out with my mom. Do you remember?
Because of the podcast.
Yeah, something to do with something I said in the podcast. Fell out with her over that, and I just remember being in my room, right, sobbing every day, and I was just hoping they'd hear me because I really needed somebody to talk to, but I didn't want to be vulnerable and go to them because we obviously hadn't spoke. And obviously my dad is great, but he's not like men. Some men aren't as...
Not all men.
Not all men. A lot of men, dads, they don't really get the whole mental health thing.
No, it's very millennial Gen Z culture.
Yeah, and like sometimes...
They weren't allowed to have mental health.
Exactly.
They just had to suck it up.
Yeah, and sometimes I'd hint at him like, oh, I'm having a shit time. And then the way my parents would look at it, and probably a lot of people, is, oh, well, you have a good job and you're on the radio and you're on TikTok and you have podcasts and you have loads of money and da-da-da-da. That doesn't mean anything, to be honest.
You can still be rich and miserable.
Exactly. That's why a lot of famous people are depressed, on drugs.
Miserable.
Like, a lot of celebrities commit suicide. Like, there's so many things. Like, just because you have all these nice things. And then again, then you feel more guilty because you're like, oh my God, I have all these nice things and I feel so shit.
Do you think social media does not help? You're like reading the comments, looking at the views, having to make content and then having to present this perfect, happy life.
It does and it doesn't. In general, I would say yes, but for me, not really, because I'm quite good at showing how I am online, even though I just said that I tried to hide it a lot. But if you remember from last year, I did do a lot of runs where I would speak about how I was feeling, but I didn't want to speak about it too much because I was vulnerable. And because I didn't know how I was going to get out of that rut, I was afraid to talk about it because I didn't want questions. I didn't want, oh, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling this week? Like, for example, when I talk about my scalp problem, all my questions, how's your scalp? How's this? How's that? So I just didn't want that for the mental health situation. So when I tried everything, healthy eating, running, water, cutting certain people off, doing things, and none of that was working, I was like, right, I need to go to the doctor. My doctor's a queen. Absolutely love her. Don't know how she deals with me. She's the one that actually had to step in and do my smear test because I couldn't cope. I was even embarrassed telling her what was going on. And straight away she was like, depression. Sounds like depression. And I was like, no. I was like, I can't be depressed. I have a great life. She was like, Kasey, you can have a great life and still be depressed. She was like, let's try medication. Doesn't work. You can come back and we can regroup. So I was like, right. So last March, went on Prozac. Didn't tell my mom, didn't tell my sister, didn't tell anyone at work, didn't tell anybody at all, bar Uncle Pat, Clodagh. I told Brandon and Shanice because I was at an event with them that day. I literally went, some of you might remember, I went to a Jimmy's iced coffee event straight from that appointment. And people there probably think, oh, here's Kasey at an event, all dressed up with her makeup done. I just came from an appointment with a doctor who told me I was depressed and gave me medication. So that's your sign. Don't believe everything you see on social media. But yeah, and from then on, and I really don't want to be like, medication is the solution for everything. But I don't know what way it works. It has massively helped me. From that day, I started to have less mental breakdowns, think a bit more positively, and honestly, big, massive, huge shout out to feckin' Uncle Pat because that man, even before he was officially my boyfriend, he sat through all of that. Like I can't even begin to explain. Like I'd be in work in between links, I'd be crying. In the car home, I'd be crying. He would sit on the phone with me till 3 a.m. when he had to be up for his 9 to 5 at like 6 a.m. And like, you know how it's like really hard to give your friends advice sometimes when they're a bit of a lost cause, when they're like, when there's nothing you can say to make things better. I'd be like, I hate my life, I'm depressed, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like, I feel lost, I feel this, I hate my life, I hate my job, I hate my friends, I hate everything. And he'd be like, somehow giving me advice. That man deserves a medal. And like to think that he wasn't even officially my boyfriend, he could have hit the road, guys. He probably should have hit the road. But I don't like he's the only person that probably knows the deepness and the severity of how bad that time was. And of course I went back to therapy at that time to Richard. And I remember he asked me, what's your biggest fear? And I was like, my biggest fear is that this doesn't go away. And I was like, I actually believe at this moment in time, this is never going away. Like, this is me for life now. I'm just going to have to suck it up and be miserable. And he was like, Kasey, you're 24 at the time. You've so much ahead of you. Like, this is just a bump in the road. And he taught me so many good ways to cope with intrusive thoughts and negative thinking and all this kind of stuff. One of the biggest things he taught me is let the thoughts pass. Your thoughts aren't always true. And he always gave me this like example of like, say you're in a train station and you see an old granny like looking over the edge. Sometimes your brain might be like, oh, you want to push her. Obviously you don't want to push the old granny. Doesn't mean it's true. Sometimes your brain can have horrendous thoughts that aren't true. He also taught me another thing of like, pretend your thoughts are just like coming by on like a boat and they're just coming and going. They don't have to be true, which has actually helped me so much because sometimes when I get in a rut of like all these thoughts, I'm like, Kasey, they're not real. And then the whole OCD thing, I've obviously never been diagnosed, but anyone in their right mind would tell you that if I can have it. You think I have it?
You have many problems with that.
ChatGPT
I'm
is something.
not a qualified therapist. I wouldn't want to
No, but you look
qualify.
up symptoms of OCD.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I think a lot of people have certain aspects, but just because you have this like trait, doesn't mean you're the full blown.
No, but I like to get the test done is €1,000, and I'm like, do I need to pay €1,000 to be told
Well, you know
what
already.
I know?
Yeah.
But the GP told me that the Prozac that I'm on is good for that as well. Do you know what I mean? Like for brain stuff and thinking stuff. But yeah, I'm like, last year my goal was to like go and get diagnosed and all, but I'm like, is there a point?
Oh yeah, but at least you're recognizing you have issues in your coping mechanism.
It's just to get the title that you have it, like, do you know what I mean?
And the medication is still working.
Yeah, think so, hope so. But after like 2 or 3 months, I stopped going to therapy because I was like, I'm kind of accepting all these things now, and I'm doing the things Richard has taught me to do. I also done this thing, I've never spoke about this, I don't think, online. I was on the radio one night, as you do, and the ads come on. This is your sign to listen to the ads, guys. And an ad came on for this like online like mental health course, a free one, and I was like, that sounds kind of bizarre. Nothing is free in this world. Aware is the name of the company or the website. I don't really know. So I looked into it, said it was free. I said, okay, I'll sign myself up. So I think it was a 6 week or 8 week course. And you went on every Monday morning on a group call with like 20 other people, which is obviously nerve wracking. And it was actually kind of sad to see like so many different people that are obviously struggling in different ways. Some people in their 60s, some people in their 20s, some people middle age. And there was a girl obviously running it. And I think that's obviously government run or something. I don't know. And I just remember going onto those calls being like, this is really last resort right now. Like I'm on a fucking call with 20 random people. And then I was terrified that one of them might know me or something. Anyways, I actually found it very helpful. Very, very helpful. It taught me about how to like break the cycle. So the cycle, I can't really remember everything now, but the cycle is basically like negative thought, how you react to that thought, your physical reaction to that thought, how you stop the rumination, because it is a rumination. Rumination means like it just keeps going and going and going. And each week there was different topics, different like activities to do. They put us in groups. I thought it was great. Highly recommend. They have other courses. I think the one I done in particular was for like, I don't want to say OCD, but for like negative thinking and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was very helpful. I actually did go to that every single week that it was on. So yeah, all this was going on, guys, and you wouldn't have had a clue. So it's just, and like that, like it kind of annoys me because I'm like, oh, I always portray that I'm this real person online and I'm an influencer that's very real. I am very real, but I think there is parts of me that I am allowed to hold back until I feel ready to share them, which is now. I never thought I'd share any of this ever because I never thought it was going away. But yeah, as of right now, obviously happy, absolutely adore my job. Doesn't even feel like a job. Healthy relationship, getting on better with my family. Me and my sister get on, me and my mother get on. We fight on occasion, obviously. Cut out any negative toxic friends. Obviously have the best boyfriend in the world. Some questionable colleagues, aka Paul.
Very supportive colleagues.
Very supportive colleagues. And like that, what's the point of everything is gone now? Like obviously I adore the radio. I adore TikTok. I adore the podcast. I was like, oh, do I really want to do all that? What else would I do? Do you know what I mean? So if that's not your sign, guys, I don't know what is. And also this is another thing. Don't compare yourself to anyone, because so many people would say, oh my God, your life looks amazing. I'd love to have your life. Would you have loved to have all that happening? Would you? I don't think so.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Exactly. And that is why I don't compare myself to anyone. And it might sound so like cliche or like obviously you do. I'm not jealous of anyone. Like if you look at Kylie Jenner, you could be like, oh my God, loads of money, like big house, all this. She might have the worst thing going on in her head. So like, do not compare yourself to one single human being. Just yourself. That's it.
Love yourself.
You're your own competition. Nobody else. No one. I don't have even one competitor on the planet. Bar myself.
Good to know.
That's facts. Not even you, Paul.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, I don't know if I've anything else there on this list of mine.
Well, you got dilemmas coming up.
Oh yeah, we've got dilemmas, of course.
Well, Kasey, that was a very powerful chat.
Think so?
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's important to share.
Anytime, guys.
Your mental health.
Welcome to my TED Talk. Hopefully the haters on TED ate that one up.
Oh.
But yeah, guys, the dilemmas that I got, actually a lot of them are about like this kind of thing. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna have a little special guest coming in, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back, people. Stressful couple of minutes there, trying to get Kinga sorted out, cameras, angles, fights with Paul, it's been a whole thing, microphones. Kinga, how the hell are you?
Hello.
Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
You've been here before?
Yes, but not in the studio. So
Yes, old studio. What you think of the
exciting.
new one?
Very professional.
Very professional.
Very classy.
It's giving award-winning podcast, I feel.
100%.
Thank you. No hesitation there at all. Kinga loves dilemmas, okay?
I love them. Okay, let's go.
So we got 3 today. Okay.
Great.
Today's theme was like all mental health stuff because it's January and everyone's depressed, you know. Okay. So first one. I'm really bad for cancelling plans last minute because I feel anxious or somehow convince myself something is going to happen or go wrong and that I shouldn't go, which then results in me having to let my friends down, and that makes me have more of an anxiety spiral. Any advice on how to stop doing this?
Okay, I feel like everyone at some stage had that, right?
Definitely.
Well, it's a tough one because first of all, maybe let your friends know.
Definitely let them know.
So if they're aware, they'll be less surprised if you do cancel last minute.
yeah.
If you need more details, if they, I don't know, sometimes the build up is worse if you have like a group chat and everyone's like talking about it for ages.
Planning something. Yeah.
So that could help. But I think like the thing you should say is just like, yeah, this kind of,
Not
this
feeling
happens
this.
to me, or yeah.
Yeah.
Or right now, I'm not really feeling it. So
Yeah.
just be aware, if I pull out, it's nothing to do with you guys. It's me. And then everyone understands.
Yeah,
This
I know
happens to
it's like
everyone.
easier said than done, but I feel like if you sometimes push yourself to go, once you get there, it's usually fine.
Yeah.
But always make sure, like, I don't know if drinks involved, you have a way home, you have a way out of there. If you feel like you're going to get overwhelmed or something does go wrong, that you can leave. But I think once your friends know that you're struggling, they won't get angry. Because I do get annoyed when people cancel last minute, only if it's for no reason, if they're just being lazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if your friends know you're going through something, or that you have a tendency to be anxious about things, I don't think that they would have an issue. You know?
No.
What if you get a rep as being that guy and never turns up? Because you always cancel. Because I have some friends, there's no point even inviting them.
That they just never.
They're just always going to cancel.
For what? Like, just like because they want
They've
to
always
cancel?
got some excuse, some drama, or they're just working late. It's fine, but like, I definitely have some friends that go, there's no point.
See, I'm petty then. I'm like, I'm not going to invite them anymore. Even though then it's like, well, you should invite them. But no.
I think what you said is right, though. A lot of times you just have to go, and actually it's not that bad. And you
Yeah.
know what? You can leave if you're not feeling it. You can go, cool, did an hour and a half, bounce. You don't have to stay the whole night.
Like, for example, and they're not going to hear this because I bet you none of them listen. I invited our whole group chat to that party I had on New Year's Eve. I call it a party. It was like 10 people.
And New Year's Eve, and me.
Yeah. So, like, Brandon, Shanice, Nia, Daniel, Amber, whoever's in our group chat, not one single person replied. I'm like, that is so rude.
Not even to say can't make it, don't want
Yeah,
to.
say can't make it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The no replying is more annoying than actually being like,
I can't go.
I can't go, or it's a maybe.
Yeah.
I'll even take the maybe over just completely nothing.
No,
Yeah.
the maybe is even ruder because like I know you're not coming. Don't.
And
say
sometimes
maybe.
maybe it's like, oh, you're waiting for better plans.
Yes,
Oh.
and I'm guilty of that. Going kind of let you know, or sometimes I go, who's going?
Yeah.
Like, who's there?
Yeah.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think ask the questions you need to ask and you decide whether you want to go or not.
I've
Because
been
sometimes,
I've been to some terrible house parties. I'm like, why do you invite me to that?
yeah, and like a big question I always ask myself, even before events, I'm like, is this worth going to? Like, do I want to give my time to this evening? A lot of the time, no.
But sometimes I've been to things where I don't want to be there, but it's for the good of my friend.
Yeah,
I
that's
went
true.
to a mate's 30th last year in his house, and it was everyone was Brazilian apart from me, and everyone was speaking Brazilian Portuguese. I'm like, why am I here?
Now,
But
why would you go to that, Paul?
He was delighted that I turned up, and I gave him an hour and a half, and then I walked home.
Okay.
So it was like, it was an hour and a half out of my day. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to do these things, but I would say overall to suss out what the actual plan is, like how you're gonna get there and back, that you have an escape if you need one, and make sure your friends know what's going on so that they understand.
And don't drink if you're anxious. The
Yeah.
alcohol is not going to help.
Makes it worse.
that's good.
Okay,
Next
so
one.
I find myself comparing myself to my friends and people online constantly. I know it's so toxic, but it makes me feel really shit about myself and my own life. How do I stop doing this?
Get rid of that phone.
Yeah.
We were only talking about this earlier, Paul. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, agreed. And everyone does it in some way,
Yeah.
whether it's career, whether it's like
Body
like
oddy.
little things like, oh my God, they have like a massive friend group and I only have 2 close friends.
Yeah.
Like what is, and then you're like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, you always
And
think you're
then
the
it
problem.
always, comes back to what is wrong with me or why can I not do that? How are they doing it? And then it just spirals. So I think having clear goals of yours
Yeah.
and really sticking up. This is the hardest thing in with our generation, I think, is
Mhm.
actually having clear goals and not looking at anything or like straying
Yeah.
from that path, because you constantly get, oh, like me. I was like, should I move to Australia?
I know. Everyone's moving
I'm
to
like-
Australia. Should I
Everyone
travel?
moved to Australia.
And like
Yeah.
the position I'm in
Should I?
now, this time 3 years ago, I would be like, oh my God, look at this girl. And she's on the radio and she's an influencer. And I'd be like, I'm never going to get that. I literally have that now. So like, there's no point in comparing yourself to anyone. Like I found a message yesterday that I'd sent to Pure Company, right? When I had like 9,000 followers. I was like, hey guys, I'm an aspiring influencer and content creator. I would love to work with you. Like it made no sense. But you kind of have to do that shit. Like, so as I was talking about earlier, you never know what's going on with other people. So you might look at someone and be like, oh my God, their life's amazing. And it's actually not.
But not even that. I think it's like, for example, well, like I'm nearly 27. I'll be 27 in June. And some people I know are engaged or getting married.
Have
Right?
children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then you start thinking about it. Then I'm like, do I actually want that? No.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, it's just in my head. But you actually have to put yourself in that position. And if that's something you want, then you're like, actually, I do.
That's a goal.
then
Then
you, that's a goal. And then you go and you Well, you try.
Then you go and try. You might succeed. Will you get
Yeah.
engaged? Who knows?
And that goes with everything,
Yeah.
right? Like
'Cause-
if you want to move abroad, then be like, okay, what's the next step that I can
Yeah,
do?
I think people forget
It's
it's about graphs getting there. You didn't just walk to Australia.
yeah.
You had to save money, you had to work, you
Yeah.
had to get a job.
Like when I see people traveling like Thailand for like 8 weeks, I'm like, oh my God, I should be doing that. Everyone's doing that. I'm going to get too old. No, look at Tara Murray. Works here. Took like
Look
6
at her.
months.
She's old.
Look at Tara Murray. Oh my God, sorry. Not old. But I mean, like she's
old.
in her 30s. She's married. She's like past the age where you can go traveling. So people would say. And she just said, you know what? I'm going to take 6 months leave, which she was lucky enough to get. And
Yeah.
she went traveling. So like for me right now, I'm way too busy in Ireland. I could never go traveling right now. But that's fine. Because I know I will eventually, do you know?
Yeah, I think, like we said, comparison to joy, and you don't actually know. I think a lot of people on Instagram and TikTok are posting the happy version of themselves. I'm so busy. I'm having such a great time this Christmas party. I'm like, I know you posted pictures from a Christmas party, but you told me afterwards it was crap.
Yeah,
Like,
me.
I'm like, I know.
Hey,
that-
I was there.
I was there, and you told me that party sucked.
Ah, it wasn't great.
No, but I feel like
Yeah.
you get a presented version. That's why I mute everyone on Instagram. Like, I don't want to see you.
Yeah,
brat.
Paula's
Yeah,
like-
you're
And I
crazy.
kind of, you know what? I respect that.
Really?
I don't
I
see,
do. I'm
I don't
like,
see
you know what? If
bragging.
you don't want to see something or if it doesn't make you feel great,
I
then you shouldn't have to.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I
that's true.
remember when I was going for a bad breakup in 2018, I had to unfollow a lot of people who are in relationships because they just kept bragging about having a boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm like, I don't have any jealousy towards you, but I just don't see this right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But that's another thing.
100%.
So many relationships are, you're like, oh my God, they look so perfect. They look,
Mm.
then 5 months later, he was cheating on me the whole time. Oh, okay.
It's just, you know what? It always happens. Like whether you got married when you're 38, whether you got married if you're like 25, for example. This is my marriage example. But like, and then you could get divorced in 5 years, or you could find the love of your life at 38 and be with them for the rest of your life. It's just there's just no point being
No.
thinking about other people.
No,
everyone's past different.
Realistically,
Yeah.
you can be inspired,
Yeah.
right,
Influenced.
in a positive way,
Mm-hmm.
or be like, you know what, I can. They did it. Maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
That attitude rather than, oh my God, I'll never do that, or
Yeah.
why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is kind of seeing the positive and
Yeah. Look at, yeah, like
you
maybe
feel
like,
inspired.
and that sounds stupid, but if you like write down what you're grateful for, what you have, you might be like, why do I want to be this other random person on Instagram? Like, don't, and as I just said before, don't compare yourself to people because you never know what they actually are have going on.
I think that's what people call manifesting, but we just call it like having a plan, goals.
I think
grafting.
goals and manifesting are a bit different. Goals are like achievable, whereas manifesting is like,
Yeah,
I
but-
want to win the lotto.
No, but manifesting is like sending positive energy out for your goals.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it, guys. You know me. Everything I say happens. It comes true. Right. Last but not least. So, I don't struggle with my mental health hugely, but from time to time I do, and my family don't believe in anxiety or therapy. How do I cope with it when they don't understand at all? I feel like I can't talk to them.
yeah,
We kind of
Have a-
talked about that as well.
Mm.
I have a lot of friends that are kind of that would have that similar.
Well, their parents don't
Issue.
care.
Maybe not that they don't care, but they don't
Get it.
get it.
It's not a thing for them.
It's not a thing they did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's hard to change.
We were talking about
Some people are, easier with change and be like, yeah, actually I am in my 50s. I will try therapy. And some are like
Too late now.
snowflakes, right?
Yeah.
It's like, get on with it.
Yeah.
Life is
Get up
hard
and go to
and
work.
that's-
Like,
in my
So
day
it
we
is
didn't have
hard.
mental health, that kind of thing,
Exactly. That
which is
vibe.
not helpful.
was there like
Um,
surely there was counselors.
No, people close to me had bad mental health in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and there was none of that. They would go to their bed and get out when they were like not depressed.
But it's weird how like, okay, say technology is evolving and like 50-year-olds have no bother on an iPhone, but like so is mental health services, but they wouldn't go to therapy. No way. But that's just who goes to therapy.
Therapy is a privilege, though. It's quite
Of
expensive.
course, yeah. But I
I
think,
think people say go to therapy, and I'm like, in Dublin, when I've been to therapy in Dublin, it's like €70 minimum. Like,
oh, mine was 100.
and my therapy was like, I'm stressed about money, and I'm like, this is the reason why I'm stressed because I'm paying money for therapy.
Yeah. Now something I heard, not sure if it's true. I think it is. If you say to your therapist, you can ask them for not a payment plan. There's this word you can use.
Oh, sliding scale.
Sliding scale.
Okay.
You heard about this?
No. Explain.
Do you want to explain, Paul?
Sliding scales when you say I can't afford to pay the full amount. Can we instead of 70 euros, can I pay 40? Some therapists are open to it. They'd rather have the client who comes every week, reliable client, than a client that pays 70 euros and drops out after 2 months because I can't afford it.
Like me. I literally went like 3 times. I'm like, bye.
Oh, I did it like 3 months. Went, I'm stressed about money. I can't afford this luxury. Bye. Yeah, sliding scale is basically going, can I pay less? But, you know, we can, and I think, or like I'm unemployed, but when I get a job, I'll pay more. I think every therapist is different.
Yeah, and I think my mom went to therapy before, right? Hopefully she won't mind me saying. And at the end of the session, the therapist said, how much do you think I deserve? And my mom was like, I don't know.
Pay what you want.
That's a
That's-
bizarre
That's
question.
even harder.
That's
than,
a
yeah,
head fuck. But your
no.
therapist is putting you on the spot.
That's bizarre.
I would need therapy for that.
No, I would be like, I need reverse psychology. I need CBT therapy. I'm never going back there again.
I think online ones like Zoom
Better
can
help.
be cheaper.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can. And
Be
also,
30, 35.
I think a lot of jobs, some jobs offer like a 10-week
You
mental
get-
health thing.
Mhm.
Here we get 10 free therapy phone calls, Zooms, if
Okay.
you want. And a lot of companies do. I think, going back to the question though, like if your family aren't on board with you going to therapy, it's none of their business.
That's what I think.
Unless you're under 18, don't earn your own money and
Yeah.
need that money.
That's different. And mental health
That's-
services are harder to access.
yeah.
But
I think I think all the schools have counselors, don't they? Primary schools.
I haven't been to school.
Secondary schools definitely do.
Secondary
Not primary.
A year old. Secondary schools 100% do.
guidance counselors.
I don't
We
think
didn't have
anybody
we didn't
listen.
have a
Oh
counselor
yeah,
counselor.
guidance counselors, but I think they
That's
also.
not mental health.
I think it is.
A guidance counselor is what you need to apply.
Yeah, but
to.
I think they
Yeah,
also
I think-
do therapy.
They probably have to.
Well, my
say,
school had that anyway. And I didn't go to a
Your
posh
school had a lot of problems. Like
Yeah,
IT,
look, I came out of that school. But no, I think well, first of all, if you're in primary school, you're probably not listening to this. Hopefully not anyway.
Please don't. Please hang up.
If you're in secondary school or older and your family or parents or whoever doesn't believe in it or whatever, I think your friends more than likely will.
Mm.
Other family members might, like my mom does, my dad doesn't. Obviously people in school, college, work, there's always somebody you can talk to, like, and people will listen.
And I got free therapy once. With trainee therapists, you can get free therapy from like people who are doing PhD in psychology.
Because they're not like fully qualified.
They're not fully
yet.
qualified, but the thing is, they taped it, so they would use the therapy sessions as
Oh.
part of their research.
I don't know about
And you
that.
had, but
Yes.
you had to agree to that,
R.I.P.
Sorry.
Mike.
Kinga. You
Sorry.
had to agree to it,
Mm.
and then they'd agree to delete your tapes after 2 years.
Jesus.
So they'd have like maybe 2 years worth of your therapy, but it was still free, and that was a good option for me. So I don't know. And also, therapy is a private thing. You don't just because you go to therapy doesn't mean you have to tell people.
No, like I didn't really tell many people, but I think
You did today.
yeah, I did today. Maybe if you feel like your parents could be like informed about it or
Mhm.
thought about it or their
Exactly.
minds changed about it, maybe speak to them. But if you think
Mhm.
it's an absolute no go, then I would say friends.
I think a
family
good way
members.
of like even explaining it is if you hurt your foot, you go to the doctor and they
Mhm.
will bring you to the doctor.
I think a lot
And then
of
the same thing if
Your
something
brain.
is hurting inside that's you can't see it, you go to a different type of doctor.
I think
I
a lot
always
of,
say this.
So
What you say?
I think a lot of mom and dads take it personally if you're going to therapy because then it's an implication they failed as parents. They're
yeah,
like,
but like
am I
your
a bad parent
parents-
because you're going to
I
therapy?
think so. I mean, like, there's so many like outside factors that affect you. School, internet, like
Your parents can't keep you in a bubble.
colleagues.
Colleagues. Paul.
Paul.
Paul. He's the reason I go to therapy. I don't actually go anymore. But yeah, I think where was I going with this? I think like my parents would be very protective, but that doesn't mean I don't have issues. Like they've raised us all very well, but we're all different. Like I have needed therapy at some point in my life. My other siblings may or may not have. I don't know. So yeah, I think maybe try to explain it to them, and if they don't get it, then head elsewhere. But definitely look into different like options for therapy because there is options if you can't afford like the high end therapy.
Yeah, and charities.
Yeah,
A lot of charities. Like Jigsaw that
And there's
provide
tech
free
services.
counselling.
I've used mental health tech services.
yeah.
Volunteers.
Text Paul, guys, if you want any help.
If you look at the text on this episode, I will put some numbers and websites for you to look at. For
I was
therapy
gonna
and
say, yeah,
end.
we probably should put a few.
We'll put some resources in the text.
Yes,
It is
perfect.
the most important thing. Physical and mental health.
Absolutely,
You
people.
need it for all your life.
Yeah,
Well said, Kinga.
you're the only one that has to live with yourself for your whole life. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's all our dilemmas today. What
Yeah.
do you think, Kinga?
I loved it.
You
I
loved
always
it,
love
even though
them.
they're all depressing. But I mean, we're helping each other out, guys. It's January. We're getting on the right track. Good year pending. As always, you can send your dilemmas to onthekasepod@gmail.com. If they're a bit longer, you can send them into the Instagram, the TikTok, my own Instagram, maybe Paul. No, I'm joking. Whatever suits. And yeah.
Next week, we're going to talk about workplace bullying.
We are not. Okay, well, that's it, basically. Thanks for tuning in. New episodes every single Wednesday, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Also, guys, pretty please, love you so much. If you share, if you're listening, feel free to share. Give us a tag, you know? It makes me feel like people listen to this thing. Oh, and I want to give one shout out to somebody. This girl I met last week at the RDS, she was saying, she came up to me and she was like, "You're the boss." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "You're the boss." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "I love your podcast." So big shout out to her. I can't think of her name. I
What
want
age
to
was
say,
she? Was she 8?
no, she wasn't 8. She was in secondary school. I want to say her name was Robin.
12.
Anyway, love you, Queen. Thanks for listening. Okay, thanks,
you,
Paul.
Robin.
Thanks, Kinga.
Bye.
Love you all. Bye. On the Kase is an Onic original podcast hosted by me, Kasey Campion. Audio and visual design by Stephen King O'Farrell and Connor Daly. Developed and produced by series producer Paul McGregor. Executive producer Sasha Hamrogue. New episodes of On the Kase come out every Wednesday on all podcast platforms, and you can watch full episodes on YouTube. Thanks for listening. This is an Onic original podcast.